Hey everyone, it's November 12th, and that means that if today's your birthday, you share it with cult leader and convicted serial killer Charles Manson, who is responsible for at least 10 deaths in the late 1960s, and that is him right down there. Born in Kentucky in 1934 to an unwed 15-year-old mother, Manson was initially called No Name Maddox, which within a few weeks became Charles Miles Maddox. Just before his birth, his mother married William Manson, later giving Charles the name we all know him by. His biological father was a local con man who lost a paternity suit in 1937 and was forced to pay child support after his mother divorced his stepdad. She was a heavy drinker and was sent to prison for robbing a gas station in 1939, so he lived with his aunt and uncle in West Virginia until her release in 1942. When his mother picked him up, the two lived in various motel rooms until she sent him away to a school for boys in 1947 after he engaged in truancy, theft, and arson. Subject to frequent abuse in the school, Manson fled after 10 months, but his mother rejected him, and he turned to crime to support himself. He left for Indianapolis, where he burgled a grocery store using the cash he stole to rent a room and buy food, then was caught trying to steal a bicycle. Sent to Boys Town in Nebraska, Manson teamed up with another boy to escape after 4 days and commit 2 armed robberies. They were caught and sent to the Indiana Boys School, where he was repeatedly sexually abused before his escape in 1951. He stole a car with 2 other boys heading for California, but they were caught and sent to Washington, D.C.'s National Training School for Boys, where he was tested as illiterate but highly intelligent. He was soon sent to a minimum security prison where he held a razor to another boy's throat and sodomized him. Manson was paroled in 1954, and in 1955 he married a woman he met on the outside with whom he stole a car and headed to California, where they were caught. He received 5 years probation, and after violating the terms, he was sentenced to 3 years in prison, during which time his wife gave birth to their son, Charles Manson Jr. After spending much of the next decade in prison, he requested that the authorities let him stay there when it came time for his release in 1967. They declined, and he moved to San Francisco, where he became enmeshed in hippie culture and started to amass a group of followers who saw him as a guru of sorts. While there, he received medical care at a clinic that received funding to study the effects of LSD and methamphetamines, which seems like it was a great idea to give to someone like Manson. He dabbled in pseudoscience and religion, taking things from Scientology and science fiction, the Bible and the Beatles, which he used to attract 18 women with whom he lived, and the group headed south that summer, taking up residence in the Los Angeles area. He made contact with Dennis Wilson of the Beach Boys and tried to become a songwriter, with the group recording and releasing one of his songs. There are hundreds of accounts of his life from this point forward that detail how the group became the Manson family and ended up killing at least 10 people in an effort to start a race war, and I won't rehash any of that here. The most brutal of these murders were the Tate LaBianca killings, where his followers cut out the unborn fetus of Sharon Tate. He ended up on death row in 1971, which was commuted to life in prison the following year, and died behind bars in 2017. Manson is one of the most notorious criminals in history, and I highly recommend watching Charlie Says with Matt Smith of Doctor Who fame playing Manson, and Quentin Tarantino's Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, where he explores the story with an alternate outcome. If it's your birthday, I hope you have a great day and spend a lot of time with your family. If you know someone whose birthday it is today, send them this video so they can find out all about their birthday twin. And to Charles Manson, I say, happy birthday, you bastard.